This next workout is a 40-20 circuit. You'll do each exercise for 40 seconds, rest for 20 seconds before moving on to the next exercise. You repeat each circuit 4 times. Exercise 1 is lateral squat. So you're gonna stand with your feet pretty far apart and your toes pointed out. From there, you're gonna drift sideways and back, loading a lot of heel. You wanna make sure that your knee is going out and not in, so you don't want your knee to collapse in, and you want to make sure, yeah, like that. You want to make sure that your knee is tracking with your toes. You're just going to drift sideways and back as far as you can, trying to keep your torso as upright as possible, even though you're going to get a lot of forward lean on this exercise in comparison to a normal squat. That's lateral squat, side to side. This exercise is going to start in the high plank or push-up position, hands underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna keep our feet together as we kick our legs side to side. Make sure you keep a good spine and don't have your butt go up really high or don't have your hip sag too far down. Keep a nice push-up position. Our next exercise is flutter kicks. We're gonna lay on our backs, make sure that our upper back and as much of our lower back as possible is touching the floor. We're gonna straighten our legs out. Level 1 is to keep our legs up really high and just move our feet a little bit. And you can make this exercise harder by bringing your feet closer and closer to the ground. So level 2, 45-degree angle, and level 3, almost completely touching the ground, almost having your heels tap the ground as you do the exercise. Make sure you're breathing and keeping as little arch in your back as possible.
The next exercise in our 40-20 circuit is tabletop with leg extensions. So with the tabletop, you're gonna have your hips as high as possible. So try not to be bent at your waist. Keep your hips up way high. You're slowly, so this is a slow one, slowly gonna kick one leg out. Extending it, you're gonna squeeze your quad hard while driving your hips to the ceiling. Try to keep your hips high as you switch legs, with a hard squeeze on those quads as your leg is straight.
Half kneeling tight rotations. So we're gonna get in a good half kneeling position, which means your knee is right underneath your hip and your hip is right underneath your shoulder, and you're as tall as you can be with your hips forward and your glute on. From there, you're gonna push your arms straight out, pistol grip by interlacing your fingers together, and do really quick but very small rotations back and forth, like you're trying to do a shake weight. If you have a shake weight, do a shake weight. You can also grab a super light dumbbell and do this, but body weight is perfectly fine. It's just the rotation, the quick rotations that challenge your core and your hips in this half kneeling position. Finisher. For this finisher, we're finishing off some calves. So we're gonna start with a calf raise. So you can have your feet about 1 foot width apart, or you can even have your feet together if you like. The goal is to make sure that you're driving all the way up tall and you're using all your toes. Make sure your weight doesn't drift out to the sides of your feet and you're not going over your big toe. So all the toes, keep a nice tall posture, nice straight back. Get a good pause and squeeze at the top. From there, you're gonna go straight in to Pogo Hops. So it's basically just a really quick calf raise, but you're jumping off the ground just a little bit, just 1 or 2 inches off the ground. We're gonna do 30 seconds of each exercise, alternating back and forth between each exercise 4 times for a total of 8 sets.